going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with your early look in the Week 6 college football matchup between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Now, we're just going to take a look as we're recording this on Tuesday, see how the line progresses, see how it moves throughout the week as, injury news will get released and stuff like that, and the lines will all obviously move. We'll hope to touch on this potentially on our Thursday live show with myself, Mitch, and Ron Romanelli. Friday, we'll have a video for it, and potentially we'll touch on this game Saturday with myself, Mitch, Jay Briggs, and the Sauce. But let's take a look at this one anyways. We're looking at Wisconsin, 3-1 on the year, 1-2-1 against the number. They beat up on Purdue last time out, 38-17. They went on the road and they just continued their dominance on Purdue. Now 17 straight wins for the Badgers over Purdue in that game. And, it was a back and forth game in the first quarter, trading field positions. But the thing was, the Badgers were just taking advantage of the opportunities that the Boilermakers were just leaving on the table. And it was a tight game at the end of the third as Purdue cut it to a 10-point deficit. But, it was all Wisconsin in the fourth quarter as they ran away from Purdue in that game. But it was a little bit closer than a lot of people probably have expected it to be in terms of the yardage. Purdue was actually outgaining Wisconsin in that game by about 6 yards, but they outgained them nonetheless. Tanner Mordecai didn't have his best game from a passing perspective, but he did rush for 2 touchdowns in that game. We also got Braylon Allen rushing for 2 scores as well. And now it's going to be up to Rutgers to try to slow down. It's going to be up for Wisconsin to slow down Rutgers. Rutgers offense that failed their first big test when they lost to Michigan on the road, 31-7. And, they've been solid in all their other games this season, but all their other games this season were at home. And they were up against the likes of FCS Wagner, Virginia Tech, Temple, Northwestern, far from world beaters. And now they go into Camp Randall, where it's a tough place to go on the road and compete, let alone win. But I don't know if I'm all that sold on Wisconsin's offense just yet. I mean, this is a team that, couldn't get the job done against Washington State on the road, and they beat up on the likes of Buffalo and Georgia Southern at home. But this is a Rutgers defense that's still pretty solid. Wisconsin's offense, they're one of the top 25 teams in terms of rushing the football, but this is a top 25 Rutgers rush defense. Rutgers solid against the pass, solid in terms of yards per completion allowed, yards per attempt allowed. So I think Rutgers defense, if it's going to be a spot where Rutgers is going to try to pull off the upset, I think the defense is going to have to keep them in it. But I also, like I said, we've only seen Rutgers on the road one time this season, and it just was not good against Michigan. And I don't know if I can get there with Gavin Wimsatt as of yet. Look at Wimsatt's numbers this season. He hasn't broken 200 passing yards in any of his games this season. He threw for 163 against Northwestern, 198 against Temple, just 46 passing yards against Virginia Tech, 180 against Michigan, even just 146 against Wagner. I think this is going to be a very run-heavy football game. A lot of emphasis on defense as well. So I know the total's a little bit low at 44.5, but for me, the early look here has to be the under 44.5 in this one, in what's going to be a buckle up with shin straps, typical Big Ten black and blue type football game. If this game stays close to the number, I could easily see a 24-10 kind of game. But my early looks still here, again, going to be the Rutgers and Wisconsin under 44.5. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Up over 142,000 subscribers here on our YouTube channel. Could not have done it without you guys' love and support, so thank you so much for that. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and smash that thumbs up. Make sure you have notifications turned on so you get the newest and freshest content when it drops here at Pick Dawgz. And while you're at our YouTube channel, like I said, make sure that you subscribe. And if you're heading over to Pick Dawgz, if you're looking for my best bets, click on the premium picks tab at the pickdawgz.com and get best bets for myself and some of the other top handicappers in the world. Thanks for watching. Best of luck. Let's crush the books.